Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Justice John Roberts has already sworn in senators. The Senate trial has begun. Tuesday will be a vote on witnesses. And if Democrats get witnesses, guess what? Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Guess what? Republicans get witnesses also. Do Democrats, does Nancy Pelosi really think that Trump is just not going to have any witnesses? They just won't have any witnesses at all? They already stated they want Joe Biden. Joe Biden has already stated he'll fight any formal demand to testify in the courts. He doesn't want to testify. The basis for all of this is that, there's no reason to investigate Biden. Well, there is. There is. But let's just read this right here. So Chief Justice John Roberts has already begun the formal process of swearing in. Impeachment trial will kick off with battle over witnesses. Schumer says he'll likely face force votes on witnesses on Tuesday. They already had witnesses in the impeachment in the House. They could have had Bolton. They did not make their case. According to 538, the articles below, you can look at my description section, the description section of every one of my YouTube segments in this channel and H.A. Goodman's other channel. Check that out. Completely eviscerates a whole bunch of Democratic Party fantasies. The Mueller report, there's the Mueller report section that says the evidence was not sufficient for any criminal charge pertaining to Trump. People got caught up in process crimes, which, believe me, they would have had triple the amount of process crimes if they actually really investigated the Clinton email server and the Clinton Foundation controversies, which are overt criminal acts. But anyway, they never investigated. So nobody got caught up in process crimes. And the people who did lie under oath, guess what? They weren't indicted, because there were a couple of people who lied under oath in the Clinton email investigation, and they just let it slide. Anyway, then you have the intelligence community warranty disclaimers. That's below in the description section. You have Madam Secretary in Arizona. By the way, she'll be the nominee. People say, well, she hasn't run yet. She will, okay? I'm being vindicated every single day. Just look at what happened. I hate to tell you, check out my segment prior to this one. Bernie Sanders' campaign is done. They cheated Bernie even worse than they did in 2016, with Elizabeth Warren making up a quote and then making a big deal about it. Okay, check out that segment prior to this one on this channel, and check out the numerous segments on H.A. Goodman's other channel explaining how and why the Democratic Party engaged in this type of insidious behavior. But here, Chief Justice John Roberts understands that there's no criminal accusation. Now, the Government Accountability Office came out today and said, it was a crime, that they don't have all the information because Trump didn't work with them. The White House didn't give them information. That there was an investigation that they did. Okay, they don't have. Not only do they not have all of the information all the information that Trump utilized to withhold assistance, but they don't have information on Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, the Democratic Party. So the issue here is that they're saying, you know what? They should have given the military assistance. Okay. I actually don't. The only thing I do know is that they don't have any information on Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, the intelligence operative. We'll get to that in a second, because that's an interesting. You have all of these government agencies coming out of the woodwork, or state agencies coming out of the woodwork, whether it's the Southern District of New York saying, well, Michael Cohen did this, and then he flips and sings and nothing happens. Then Lev Parnas did this, and he's flipping and singing, nothing's going to happen. And you have the Government Accountability Office saying, well, Trump broke the law. It's like, well, if he did break the law, why didn't the articles of impeachment list an actual law being broken? So something tells me that Democrats would have already added that part of it. So here you have the Washington Post. However you feel about Democrats not directly accusing Trump of a crime in the articles of impeachment. So they haven't directly accused Trump of a crime. And they're not thinking of, well, I mean, they might impeach Trump again. But Pelosi's not saying, well, the Government Accountability Office said that Trump committed a crime. We're going to impeach him again based on what the GOA states. Okay. It's always a one-sided investigation where they actually try to investigate with Trump. Whether it's John Huber or James Comey, they never investigate. It's always an investigation in name only. It's a facade when it's Clinton or anyone else. But anyway, no, they don't know how they transferred top secret and special access and program intelligence. Clinton was running servers for 4 years. They have no clue how she transferred top secret and special access program intelligence. But here, Democrats' case against Trump, on the other hand, doesn't have that one key piece of evidence directly linking Trump to a quid pro quo. Even if the Government Accountability Office is correct, there's still no link to the allegation that he withheld. Let's assume that it was against the law to withhold military assistance because Congress had already secured a certain this was the $200 million that Congress had already secured, and that should have been already sent. Okay, that's still not linking Trump to withholding the military assistance because he's afraid of the No Malarkey bus tour. This is all a facade. Clinton's going to be nominee. That's what both sides understand. Trump understands this, and Pelosi understands this too. They're not going with Biden. So Biden is not going to be nominee. Well, we know from recent events with Elizabeth Warren that Bernie's not going to be nominee. His campaign is pretty much done. We know that Warren, just with her campaign plummeting the past month and a half, that she's not going to be nominee. Seeing that pretty much everyone has either dropped out of the presidential contest, or maybe there's some people kind of still there, like Amy Klobuchar. There's only one person technically left standing that really, in the minds of people, has a chance. That's Joe Biden. Joe Biden has stated that he wants to be a one-term president. Okay, that that coal miners need to learn the code. That what else? What did he say? That he might have a Republican vice president, and oh yeah, by the way, his campaign is losing money every quarter. Okay, then you have Bloomberg and Tom Steyer. Bloomberg saying, well, you know what? Even if I'm not the nominee, he knows he's not going to be the nominee. Obviously, I'll still give $1 billion to whoever it is, even Bernie Sanders. That's nonsense. He has no business. The only reason he's there is to pave the way for Clinton. He even said, like a year and a half ago, he's like, I would never run. Why would I run? Then he starts running, and it's all to pave the way for Clinton. But here, Democrats' case, this is 538. Democrats' case against Trump, on the other hand, doesn't have that one key piece of evidence directly linking Trump to a quid pro quo. Even if the Government Accountability Office is right, and the Trump administration committed a crime by not giving money to Ukraine because Congress approved of that money. Okay. You still haven't proven that he withheld military assistance because he's afraid of the No Malarkey bus tour, because that's not his direct political rival. Clinton is. Anyway, Associated Press, yet the witness accounts left one prominent hole that offered a lifeline for Trump and his GOP allies. None of the witnesses could personally attest that Trump directly conditioned the release of the $400 million in military aid on a Ukrainian announcement of investigations into former Vice President Joe Biden and the Democratic National Committee. Okay, so that's the Associated Press. The Government Accountability Office still has, and the Democratic Party and all the witnesses that have already spoken and all the witnesses they want don't have that one key piece of evidence linking Trump to a quid pro quo. All of this is a quid pro quo. The Democratic Party is not worried. Is not worried about is not worried about the money actually going to Ukraine, because guess what? The President Zelensky stated there was no quid pro quo. President Zelensky, President Poroshenko, stated there was no quid pro quo. Furthermore, it's interesting how the Government Accountability Office never did an investigation on why Biden fired the prosecutor that happened to be looking into the corporation that funneled a total of $3.4 million to his son. Hunter was on the board of directors of a corporation of a corporation being investigated for corruption. That just coincidentally, a prosecutor was looking into it, investigating it. And oh, by the way, Vice President Joe Biden fired the prosecutor that was looking into the corporation that already funneled money to his son. The question now is, why was Hunter Biden on the board of directors? Nepotism is not the answer. So John Roberts and the Government Accountability Office and the Democratic Party and media and journalists who say there's nothing there should ask, why was he on the board of directors? Nepotism is not the answer. Nepotism is okay. It's fine. It's fine. The question is really, or the answer is, was he on the board of directors? It's like a Jeopardy question. The answer is a question. Was he on the board of directors to ensure that that type of thing, if a prosecutor was looking into it, his father would fire the prosecutor? Because you're not on the board of directors of a company. You're only on the board of directors because of your knowledge and expertise. He didn't speak Russian. He didn't speak Ukrainian. He has no knowledge and energy. The only other reason you're on the board of directors of a company is because of your contacts. Well, if Hunter Biden's contact is that his father is a big part of U.S.-Ukrainian foreign policy, that should be investigated. Notice how it's not investigated. Notice how these types of conflicts of interest are never investigated, ever, by Democrats. Southern District of New York, Government Accountability Office, whatever. Never investigated. Then they say, well, you can't prove that Joe Biden did this, even though it looks bad. Yeah, and you can't prove, there's no direct evidence that Trump withheld military assistance because he's afraid of Joe Biden, and he's going after his direct political rival, and he's afraid of 2020. He knows very well he's on the way to easily winning 2020. And it's going to be against Clinton again. But here, and I'm the only person on the planet stating this, but here, since 2017, impeachment trial will kick off with battle over witnesses. Schumer says he'll likely force a vote for witnesses on Tuesday. The impeachment trial of President Trump is now underway, and it's going to move fast. Just an hour after senators were sworn in, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said he will likely force... So hold on one second. Schumer said he will likely force a vote on witnesses. In my mind, I heard McConnell. That's not going to work. Schumer's not going to force any vote. Just an hour after senators were sworn in, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said he will likely force a vote on witnesses on Tuesday, setting up a contentious fight. You can't force. You're the Senate Minority Leader. There's more Republicans there. McConnell runs the chamber. You don't. Contentious fight when the Senate returns 3-day weekend. Senate Democrats have called for subpoenaing 4 witnesses, including Trump National Security Advisor John Bolton. They didn't in the House. The fact that they didn't in the House shows that he has nothing of substance. And acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney, what would Mick Mulvaney know about Trump's fear of Biden? What do you expect Mick Mulvaney to say? He was so afraid of, but he's petrified of the No Malarkey bus tour. We expect they will have the votes on these witnesses on Tuesday, but can't be sure until we see the resolution that McConnell has put together. McConnell's not going to put together McConnell's not going to give them the chance to vote for witnesses. Or even Susan Collins wants to wait until until both sides argue their case, and then decide if witnesses are needed, and then Republicans will get their witnesses too. But their calls for agreeing to hear witnesses at the outset of the trial have been rebuffed by McConnell. The GOP majority's trial blueprint kicks off questions about whether to hear witnesses until after House managers and the president's defense present their case. Game, set, match. Game, set, match. So John Roberts knows. He's going to side with Trump. And people say, how do you know? He's going to side with Trump because there's no crime here. The Government Accountability Office did not commit. They say, oh, well, you know what? He committed a crime. Not the quid pro quo crime, not the crime of bribery. So, not the crime of bribery, which is what this is all about. They're not impeaching Trump because they're worried about Ukraine. They don't even believe President Zelensky, and his predecessor, President Poroshenko. They have disdain for everyone else, including the Ukrainian government. The hubris, the narcissism, the egotistical nature of Democrats, they're the ones who know exactly what President Zelensky's thinking. Well, President Zelensky stated there was no quid pro quo, no pressure. So why would Democrats, with their neuroses, they then project, well, we think that Biden is the front runner. So therefore, since we think that Biden is the front runner, then Trump would think that Biden is the front runner also. It's like, no, that's not the way it works. GOA says Trump administration broke law by withholding Ukraine aid. I want to read this Fox News. That money, so broke law because the money was allocated by Congress. Okay, fine. The Government Accountability Office is not a judge or jury or court. Furthermore, the allegation is a quid pro quo. The accusation stems from quid pro quo that Trump wanted to engage in a bribe. They don't have any evidence of that. And they don't have any accusation of a criminal act within the articles of impeachment. They don't have direct evidence within the articles of impeachment. And the GOA does not say that in their investigation he withheld military assistance because he wanted to interfere in the election, which is also very bizarre too. They say two things at once. They say, Democrats say, well, he tried to interfere in the election. Then they say, well, there's nothing that shows that Biden deserves to be investigated. Well, which one is it? How can he interfere in the election if Biden is pure as the driven snow? The fact is, they find it reprehensible that Trump would even think of investigating them. That's really the main thing. They're beyond above reproach. And Chief Justice John Roberts initially will side. The title is 100% right. John Roberts is not giving them witnesses, which is what many articles have stated. So they're waiting. McConnell's going to wait. And Roberts knows that McConnell runs the show in the Senate. They want Chief Justice John Roberts to hook them up. It ain't going to happen. So title's correct. I don't want to hear anything about it. Well, to my 17-minute crowd, I love you. You wouldn't be the one saying anything about the title in this case, but Chief Justice John Roberts already sided with Trump. He's not forcing witnesses on the Democratic side, and nor should he, nor will he, because there's no this is not a criminal trial. It's not even a criminal trial, which is what Democrats are so proud of also. Give me your thoughts below. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel right this second. If you're a Bernie supporter or used to be a Bernie supporter, check out my segment prior to this one. I didn't derive any pleasure from making it, but I'm a Trump supporter in part because of what just happened between Warren and Bernie Sanders. Give me your thoughts. Thank you. And check out that segment prior to this one. Thank you.